Hello and welcome back to Vault Holocron, where today I will explain the Muun species. Muuns were the sentient humanoids from the planet Scipio. Muuns were tall, being just under 2 meters on average, could have pale pink, grey, pink, white or green skin, had elongated skulls, had small eyes, had flat noses, making their voices nasally, had flat ears under their skull cap, had thin arms with 5-fingered hands, 2 of the fingers being significantly shorter than the others, had long, thin legs, and had 3 hearts. Muuns were very intelligent and were great at maths. Muuns ran the intergalactic banking clan. Scipio, the home planet of the Muuns, was an ice-covered planet in the outer rim. It was the headquarters for the intergalactic banking clan. Now I will explain notable Canon Muuns. First up is Abrish, a male who worked for Madol's empire, a small slave empire run by Madol on Muun during the time of the empire. In 4 ABY, Abrish worked collecting slave shipments from the Lothal sector and informing Madol of the collections. He collected a shipment that contained Sabine Wren. Now for Darth Plagueis, a male Sith Lord. He was trained by Darth Tenebrous. He came to own the protocol droid 114D. He studied the Force and gained lots of knowledge on the dark side of the Force. In the High Republic era, he was on an island which the Stranger was based on. Plagueis took Sheev Palpatine as an apprentice. Palpatine took the name Darth Sidious. Plagueis and Sidious worked to create immortality and hoped to replace the Galactic Republic with a Sith Empire. Plagueis taught Sidious that if they worked together by the rule of 2, one of them being the bait for the dark side of the Force and the other being a vessel, they could harness the full power of the dark side and rule a mortal for 10,000 years. Plagueis was interested in the Force dyad, a unique and strong bond between 2 Force sensitives. He hoped to create one with Sidious, but was unsuccessful. Plagueis tried to uncover the secrets of immortality through scientific experiments. He used his ability to coax midichlorians in some of those experiments. According to Sidious, Plagueis discovered immortality through transference, a Force ability in which the user transferred their consciousness to another body. Plagueis arranged for Sidious to become the Senator of Naboo and the Comel sector. Plagueis continued training Sidious. According to Sidious, Plagueis was able to influence the midichlorians in order to create life and save those he loved from dying. Plagueis feared that the Force could strike back against his power and that he may lose his power. Eventually, Sidious decided he no longer needed Plagueis and so broke into his apartment and killed him in his sleep. Next is Anolo, a vice chairman of the intergalactic banking clan on Maigito in the time of the Empire. When Jabba sent troops to capture a codebreaker who could decode Imperial security codes, Anolo attempted to flee with the codebreaker. He was caught by Greedo and Takvar and died from a shot to the chest in a fight which occurred. Now for Nix Card, a male who was the representative for the intergalactic banking clan in the Galactic Senate and the senator for the planet Moonilinst. Nix Card was an agent of the Sith, consulting with Darth Tyrannus and Darth Sidious. When Padme and Bail Organa managed to halt a bill to deregulate the banks, Card, Lot Dodd and Goom Sam spoke together on what to do in order to convince the people to deregulate the banks. Card came up with the idea that if there was an attack on Coruscant, people would be more willing to accept the bill. Card contacted Dooku in order to have an attack against Coruscant organized. While this was being prepared, Padme began organizing peace talks with Mina Bonteri. When the Separatist and Republic Senates agreed to peace talks, Card was distressed. General Grievous was placed in charge of the attack on Coruscant and used demolition droids, disguised as cleaning droids, to blow up a power generator. This attack caused the bill to deregulate the banks to pass. In 20 BBY, Card visited Zygeria, seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi be tortured and meeting enslavers. In 19 BBY, when Padme visited Scipio to investigate missing funds of the intergalactic banking clan, Card and his guards arrested her for espionage after she stole data on the missing funds. Later, Padme was rescued by Anakin and told Anakin that the data was with Rush Clovis. Padme and Clovis escaped Scipio with the data. Card contacted Darth Sidious with this information, with Sidious being pleased and telling Card to proceed with the plan. Clovis took control of the banking clan, and Dooku forced him to remove interest rates from the Separatists and increase the Republic's interest rates. Dooku then invaded Scipio. The Republic arrived at Scipio and the Separatists withdrew their forces. Clovis was killed. After these events, using Clovis's supposed treachery as an excuse, Card gave control of the banks to the office of Supreme Chancellor. This greatly helped Palpatine. Next up is Tala Cho, a male who worked for Dalborg Mining in 5 BBY. He was the foreman for Zone 39 on the moon Cinder, where thorolite was mined. Next is Dern, a member of the Dank Grak group, a criminal group formed mostly of rejects from Darkside Force cults. He was part of the group for over 100 years and was a little Force sensitive. Now for Fraxa, a female who owned the Kiwik Livery Corporation on Quen, around during the High Republic era. She had an antique Arc 8 starfighter she tried to restore. Her company replaced its organic drivers with droids because it was unable to afford to pay the staff. When the drivers rioted and destroyed many droids, Plo Koon and Saisi Tin intervened. Next up is San Hill, the male chairman of the intergalactic banking clan, around during the Clone Wars. Hill once tried to assassinate Grievous, who had previously been an agent for the banking clan. Grievous survived the crash and was turned into a cyborg. Hill attended a secret meeting on Geonosis held by Count Dooku. There he pledged the banking clan's financial and military assets to the Confederacy of Independent Systems. He became its representative on the Separatist Council. In the last days of the Clone Wars, he and the Separatist Council met on Utapau and was sent to Mustafar, where they came to be killed by Darth Vader. Next is Vlem Hill, a member of the Hill family, which worked for the intergalactic banking clan. Before the Clone Wars, he secretly bought a planet which would come to be called Vlemoth Port for industrial development. This planet was used to gather precious metals and produce missiles for the banking clan's IG-227 Hellfire-class droid tanks. Now for Exum Jermit, a second vice-chair of the intergalactic banking clan that frequented the Malastair Hunting Club. In 3 ABY, they were working with a competitor of Jabba the Hutt. Bib Fortuna spoke to them in order to convince them to work for Jabba the Hutt instead. Jermit refused and so was killed by Bosk. Next up is Clue Lesser, a male spokesman for the Core 5, the leadership of the intergalactic banking clan. Next is Jeff Olarilia, a male who was the Secretary of Transportation in the Republic Transport Bureau under Supreme Chancellor Lena So during the High Republic era. Next up is Mac Plain, a male banker for the intergalactic banking clan on Coruscant and Scipio. He acted as a liaison between the bank and the Galactic Republic. Now for Paws Tonif, a male financier who had strong ties to the intergalactic banking clan. Tonif was allied with the Confederacy of Independent Systems and their navy as an officer. He later served as admiral and was arrogant. Now for Unidentified Banker, a member of the intergalactic banking clan. They were married with children and employed a human personal attaché. When his wife and attaché were killed in an accident, he adopted the employee's son, Rush Clovis. Next up is Unidentified Judge. They presided over a trial of the Core 5 in 20 BBY on the embezzlement of funds meant for refugees of the Clone Wars. The judge found the Core 5 guilty and stripped them of authority. Rush Clovis took control of the intergalactic banking clan after this. Next is Vin, a Jedi Master around during the High Republic era. Vin was present at the Kyber Arch on Coruscant in 382 BBY. To honor the life and sacrifice of Master Zalo Makri and Padawan Kevmo Zink. Vin wished to eventually place the Kyber crystals of all Jedi into the Kyber Arch. When Jedi Knight Aslin Rel said that he wished to investigate the dead Jedi's deaths, Vin warned him to be careful. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye.